Let me talk to you.
The biggest icon in wrestling.
Yeah. Let me talk to you.
Welcome. We are live once again for another episode of Let Me Talk to You. And as you could tell, I am Frankie Fresco and I am riding solo tonight. Unfortunately, my brother, Nick, aka DiTrapio, is a little bit tied up with school. He's unfortunately not able to go ahead and join me on the show tonight, so it's unfortunate, but that doesn't mean the show doesn't go on. We still go on, ladies and gentlemen. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, once again for Let Me Talk to You, episode 19. I'm excited, and I want to go ahead and welcome you guys as you come on in. Don't forget to hit that like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also don't forget to share the stream with your friends and family. It's gonna probably be a quick show tonight. I'll probably go maybe 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, because of the simple fact that I am by myself, so it's a little bit more challenging than when I am with my brother. But we are gonna go into detail with some of our topics of tonight's show, which I obviously have a lineup set up. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a little bit about NXT. There was some news that broke out in NXT that's exciting for, not only the people who tune in for NXT, but also for, the people who watch Monday Night Raw. Some few new people coming in from the Monday Night Raw roster over to the NXT roster. So that was pretty cool to see. The other thing we wanted to talk about, obviously, or we'll talk about myself, will be the Miami Dolphins and the whole Xavier Howard interview in the OG's podcast. I have some video I want to show you guys. I want to talk to you guys about it, and I want to get your take. I want to see what you guys think. I saw some nuggets here. I've seen that some people have been talking about this interview, so I'm not going to talk about specific things that have already been mentioned in other podcasts. I'm going to talk about certain things that I caught, which I thought was very, very interesting in that interview. Also, some breaking news recently, just a couple minutes ago. We will talk about it, and I want to hear what you guys think. And the breaking news, I might as well go ahead and tell you, is the fact that the Miami Dolphins are actually interested on Odell Beckham Jr. to coming per Barry Jackson. That just came out about an hour ago. And we could talk about that, about the Miami Dolphins on the possibility of signing Odell Beckham Jr. It's going to be intense. It's going to be crazy if we actually sign him. Then we'll talk a little bit about the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are playing right now as we speak. So we'll talk a little bit about Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler. Miami Heat currently up 61-57 against Cleveland. And then we'll talk a little bit about some soccer and the most controversial news. I've been getting people sending me messages about Lionel Messi and how Lionel Messi has been how I've been kind of being hard on him, and the reason is because he is injured. So we'll talk a little bit about his injury, and we'll talk more into what I think about Lionel Messi. But first, let's start with what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about wrestling. We're going to talk about last night's NXT. And of course, NXT once again delivered. And we'll start off first. And let me see if I could share some of this stuff, because it's like I told you guys, I'm always, when I'm doing this show solo, it's a lot more different and a little bit more challenging because I am doing production. So it's like me, myself, and I only going ahead and showing and talking at the same time, so it's a little bit hard. But last night, definitely right there, the NXT Tag Team Championship, the number one contenders triple threat match. The winning team last night, we had the Big Brothers going ahead, the OC winning the match of theirs, so they qualify for the triple threat match. And as you can see on the bottom, all three teams that have qualified: LWO, Axiom and his partner, and then obviously the Good Brothers as well. I've mentioned to you guys before that the winner of this, and that's as stated that right on the bottom, it says the winning team will challenge Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin. So I will say this, I believe it's a stand and deliver. There is news to this because number one, first and foremost, I thought that the Good Brothers were going to win this match. I and my brother spoke about this last week, and I said that the one who has the really, really good shot at winning this obviously would be the Good Brothers to win it. The only issue here now, and this is the news that happened. So for all you guys and gals who are interested, who watch Monday Night Raw, was the fact that Tozawa and Otis made their way over to NXT. And now that they made their way over to NXT, that basically means they actually went ahead and challenged Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin next week. And if they're able to go ahead and win, then they'll be challenging for those NXT championship belts. So if I'm not mistaken, and again, I don't think I'm off here, but if Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker lose against Otis and Tozawa, they will now have to face against each other. And then I believe the winner of the triple threat match would go in and also contend for that belt. So it would be all three teams fighting at Stand and Deliver. I believe that's the case, which should be fun. It should be exciting. And like I said, the underdog in this, or kind of like the team that I'm hoping wins it. I get the Good Brothers are the favorites, but I'm really hoping that the LWO wins it because just the athleticism of those two guys have kind of like won me over the last couple of shows, and I just think that they do such a really good job. And I think that's one of the reasons why I am very, very excited to see who wins that triple threat match next week. Because for some strange reason, something's telling me that they should give it to the LWO. They never win, but I think the Good Brothers are going to win. But we're also going to get, obviously, Tozawa and Otis challenging Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin. So that should be good. That should be fun. That should be something new. And then I honestly feel that Otis and Tozawa will win that match. And then, obviously, they'll be able to go ahead and challenge for the tag team belts. But enough about NXT. And like I told you, today's a quick show because my brother, unfortunately, is not able to join me. Let's talk about what we all want to talk about. And ladies and gentlemen, that is, of course, the Miami Dolphins. And of the first breaking news that we got on here is the fact that by Barry Jackson stating out there that the Miami Dolphins are actually interested in signing Odell Beckham Jr. And if you guys know, the Miami Dolphins are very, very in need of some more depth when it comes to, of course, the wide receiver position. And I'm going online right here. Let me go ahead and share this with you guys. I also want to go ahead and tell you guys, I apologize about last week's show. I did see that we got copyrighted, unfortunately. So unfortunately, some of you weren't able to catch the whole show. That's why I kind of did not want to show some of the NXT clips. So I'm going to try to hold back on showing some of the NXT clips because they tend to go ahead and copyright us, which is what I figured they were going to do. I do want to mention one last thing before we talk about the Dolphins and this whole Odell Beckham Jr. breaking news. They finally did go ahead and announce that Carmelo and Trick Williams will be fighting at Stand and Deliver. So should be fun. Sports Illustrated actually wrote about it and everything, so it should be an exciting match. And next week we'll go ahead and recap the matches for Stand and Deliver, showing you what they got in lineup. But back to the breaking news, and I'm gonna go ahead and share this. And there it is. As you can see, Barry Jackson's actually reporting it right now. He says the Dolphins are interested in Odell Beckham Jr. And this was 20 minutes ago, so he just read as they give thought to adding an accomplished receiver to the pair with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Plus, Greer McDaniel and Frank Smith attend Texas Pro Day, the amusing exchange with a top Longhorns prospect and projections. Wow. You should see that. And then right on the bottom right here, it says per team source, Dolphins are interested in three-time Pro Bowler receiver Odell. He's a player they really, really like. And again, guys, I just want to go ahead and inform you guys that, the Miami Dolphins need wide receiver depth. You know that they need a number 3. And if you look at what the Miami Dolphins have on the receiving, right now we got obviously Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. That's our 1-2. We were able to re-sign Braxton Berrios for 1 year, so that's good to have. And then we also have Eric Izukama, but that's it. We don't have anybody else besides those 4 that you could honestly say have a little bit of a grasp of this particular team when it comes to the offensive side. Now, I do want to go over a couple of stats of Odell Beckham Jr. of last year. Obviously, he didn't play a full season, but he did sign with the Ravens. He had 35 receptions. He had 565 yards. He averaged 16 yards a reception. His longest was 51, and he had 3 touchdowns. I mean, before that, he was productive with the Rams. He was a little bit less, but kind of the same, 27 receptions, 305. But this was 2021. This was the year that he was playing some time with the Rams, and then he also had some time with the Browns. So you kind of have to combine both. He did have 5 touchdowns with the Rams. So that was a very, very productive year for him. And then obviously his accomplishments when he was in the Giants and obviously with the Browns. The last year that he honestly had over 1,000 yards receiving was back in 2019 with the Browns, where he had 74 receptions and he averaged 14. But one thing that does stand out for me, guys, and this is the thing that I really, really do like about Odell, is the simple fact that Odell averages usually double digits when it comes to average yards after reception. So that's the one thing that I really, really like. And let's not forget, Odell is not a small dude. Odell is 5'11". He's still young. He's still 31, so he still has the ability to be productive. He does kind of bring a lot of that personality that could be either very beneficial for the Miami Dolphins or it could be possibly detrimental for the Dolphins. But I will say this, man. When we brought in Chase Edmonds last year, we weren't able to use him and be productive with him. So if the Miami Dolphins do bring Odell, I'm happy that they won't do it in the middle of the season, that hopefully they could bring him in immediately, like during this offseason. That way he could start getting the feel of the offense. And hopefully Mike McDaniel has learned how to use his receivers, bring and use Odell and do specific plays for him, man. I mean, again, this is another receiver that could easily, in my opinion, be a third, the third receiver of this core. Now, DiTrapio, sir, my brother is on. I don't know why he's on. Sir, you should be busy doing your schoolwork, sir. So go back to school. Go back to doing your homework, sir, while I handle the show for tonight. But he is better than Cedric and Chosen. He is a better option. That those guys didn't do that much for the team. Cedric Wilson was okay, but imagine if Waddle or Tyreek Hill actually does go ahead and get hurt. Obviously, Odell would be the right person to come in and be able to give him some production for Tua. Those are the things that we need. We need receivers that are going to come in and be quick on their feet, and a lot of people, they're going to gain a lot of attention, because at the end of the day, you want to make it easier for Tua to be able to throw the football to these guys and have different options. The fact that now we have John Smith, the fact that we might have Odell. I mean, let's look at this, guys, and let's look at this. A lot of people say, yo, I'm not a Tua lover, I'm not a Tua hater, I'm somewhere in the middle. But if you're looking at what they keep bringing for Tua, I mean, they keep bringing the house for him. If they're able to bring Odell Beckham Jr., and I know he's not the same Odell from years ago, but he's still a very good. He's serviceable, man. He's a good receiver. Um, you bring him, Tyreek, Jalen. You still got Braxton Berrios. You got John Smith. I mean, it's still core. Like it's still solid group of guys that Tua's gonna be able to throw the football to. So, no excuse, in my opinion, for Tua. No excuse for the Miami Dolphins offense to be productive. And again, if you could bring in Odell and he's cheap, bring him. Why not? He's only going to go ahead and hopefully gain some more attention, and that will probably open up even more Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle or John Smith or even Braxton Berrios when they're like maybe in a four receiver set. So Odell Beckham Jr., as long as the Miami Dolphins can go ahead and get him for the low, cheap, do it. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think at the end of the day, the Miami Dolphins are only going to gain from it. Now, on to the next thing, and the thing that we are going to kind of dig in a lot more today was the actual interview of Xavier Howard. Now, I've been, there's a lot of you guys that have been tuning in, and you guys are just like me, right? We're all the same. Like we're all into all Miami Dolphins. So we're looking at different podcasts. I mean, you guys watch. I'm pretty sure some of you guys watch TD Finns talk. I'm pretty sure some of you guys watch Dougie. Obviously, the All Dolphins podcast. Uh, you got Big O. So we're all talking about the same thing. And I try to watch their stuff to see what they're talking about. But at the same time, I try to see certain things that other people are not saying. And one of the things that I didn't see that was being spoken about was a comment that was said by Xavier Howard. So let me go ahead. Let me try to open this. Let me see if this is the first video. No, this is not the first one. All right, so this is the first video I wanted to show you guys. And shout out to Udonis Haslam. He was repping that Miami Miami Dolphins all day, bro. Jesus, he was like pimping out with it. But let me share this with you guys. All right, so there it is. There's the actual video I wanted to show you guys. And if you guys can at least let me know if you could hear this. I hope you could hear it. I know my brother's on right now, so if my brother Nick, if you could hear this, at least give me a thumbs up. I want to go ahead and play this, and I want you guys to tell me what you guys think. Oh, no sound? All right, hold on a second. So there, my brother's saying that there is no sound. So hold on a second, guys. Before we do this, let me see if I can do something here. And this is what sucks when you're trying to get this. Trying to show this to the people. Hold on, let me see what I could do here. General. It's not popping up. That sucks. All right, let me try one last thing, and that typically works. So let me go to my profile here. Let me hold on a second, guys. Let me try to do this. This is what happens when you're riding solo. Unfortunately, I'm not able to go ahead and obviously be able to show you guys exactly what I wanted to tell you, but hold on a second. So I know that this has worked before. It always does. And of course, because it is my Instagram, it usually does work. So let me add this. Let me post this on my Twitter account, and then let me post this one as well. Is this all of them? Yeah, I think we got everything. All right, so I should be able to play these. They're actually posting up. So let me go back to my Twitter account. I'm gonna go to my profile. Let me go down here and let's see if it already populated. And again, sorry guys, it's just unfortunately the sound on my video was not able to be heard, so that kind of sucked. All right, so it should be this one. This one should be the one. So let me make this bigger. Let me go here. Let me share this with you guys. All right, so let me share my screen. All right, so you guys can see that there. So let me make this bigger. And let me know if you guys can hear this.
Different things start to matter. Be important to you. Yeah. Different things start to matter. Like as you were younger, it's like get your money. Like, yeah. I mean, I need that. I got to take care of moms. I got to take care of the old boy, whatever the situation may be. Now, as you get to this point of your career, are there any specific teams or opportunities that you might be looking at and saying, okay, they might be one step away or whatever? Because I know, like you said, it's about a championship now. Yeah. I remember before when you was going through your situation, I didn't even know you, but I DM you. Get all your money. Right. Get all your money. That's the first thing. I didn't know you, but I get all your money, dog. But now it's different. Mm-hmm. You've gotten, the All-Pro. You've gotten the Defensive Player of the Year. You've achieved all these individual things. So that championship, you said that's important to you now. Right. So are you willing to focus on maybe not the money as much now, for sure, and focus on just getting that championship and not really taking that much?
Yeah, for sure, man. Like me and my agent, we always talking about it and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, I'd rather take a pay cut to a team that's gonna go further in the playoffs though. Like, I got my money and stuff like that. Like, I'm to the point like, how much money do you really need though? Mm-hmm. And it's like like I said, my goal is always try to win a Super Bowl. And it's like, don't let the money get in the way to win a Super Bowl. Because it's like some people get paid and some people win a Super Bowl. Yeah. Some people do both. Yeah. You do both. Yeah. You're different. You're right. And that's like, I want to be different, man. I want to win a Super Bowl now. So I already got paid. So
okay, so I wanted to show that video, guys. And like I said, a lot of you guys have probably been watching and seeing this. And the reason I wanted to show you guys that video was because if you listen to what Xavier Howard is saying, he goes and he says that he is. Udonis Haslam asked him if he's willing to go ahead and take a pay cut for next season. And his answer is, I've been getting paid. And all of a sudden, he's like, absolutely, I'm willing to take a pay cut. And I'm willing to take a pay cut as long as, we could go farther in the playoffs. So when I heard this, it kind of rang in my head. And I said to myself, wait, hold on a second. Is Xavier Howard trying to tell us something here? Because if you look at it, if he goes and he says he wants it, he doesn't mind taking a pay cut, and that his priority is to win a Super Bowl, now that he's made all this money before, why didn't he just not re-sign with the Dolphins? Why didn't the Dolphins, I'm pretty sure the Dolphins probably offered him something. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not inside the locker room. I'm not inside with some of these guys. I don't know the inside scoop, but for him to say that, either two things happened. Either Chris Greer said, we're not even offering him anything, or number two, Xavier Howard himself said, you know what, this team is not good enough to win a Super Bowl or to even go past where we got, which was the playoffs. He either saw two things coming. He either saw people leaving and the team kind of digressing, or number two, like I said, Chris Greer probably went ahead and said, look, I'm done. I'm not even going to offer you to be on the team, So I don't know. I caught that and I said to myself, I was like, man, is he taking a shot at the Dolphins, or is it that just maybe the Miami Dolphins, Chris Greer probably didn't even offer him any money. Chris Greer probably just went in and said, you know what, man, it's okay. Like, we don't need you. And again, like I said, it's all speculation. Nothing is concrete. I'm not saying that Chris Greer didn't offer him or did offer him. And I'm not saying that Xavier Howard is taking a shot at the Miami Dolphins. All I'm saying is, from what I get from this video, is you got two different ways of looking at it. And one is either Chris Greer just said, screw it, I'm not offering you anything. And remember, there was that comment. Remember that Chris Greer went on paper saying that, hey, I offered and we had conversations with Xavier Howard and all this stuff. And, the door is always open. And then Xavier Howard actually came out and said, no, that didn't even actually happen. That was just basically him going ahead and, nothing happened, to be honest with you. It was kind of like whatever. So we've already caught Chris Greer, to be honest with you, being a liar on this topic, So if Chris Greer did not even offer Xavier Howard, I mean, I could understand why Xavier Howard is kind of feeling a little bit some hostility against the Miami Dolphins. The other option is, of course, hey, maybe he feels the Miami Dolphins reached their peak. Maybe the Miami Dolphins did as much as they could, and that's as much as they're gonna go. So it is kind of concerning, man. It is kind of concerning that he went ahead and mentioned that, and I kind of peeped that, because me and my brother, we spoke about this, and we said to each other, wait, hold on a second. Something when he said that, it just sounded awkward. It sounded like, hey, man, is he taking a shot at the Miami Dolphins, or is it really the fact that Chris Greer, didn't even offer him? So those are two really good things to think about. I don't know if you guys feel maybe the same. Now, hey, what? Oh, shout out to Sean, of course. Stanley Media House in the building. Maybe Greer talked with his agent and not Howard. That could be a possibility, man. He probably may have. But again, man, like, if that's the case, then I at least feel that because Xavier Howard has been with the Dolphins for so long, his agent would have at least approached Xavier Howard and told him, look, the Dolphins are working on trying to get you a good deal. So maybe we're able to, just conversations. It's not a shut and close case. We are actually in the process of trying to go ahead and try and see if maybe they offered him something. But that right there really honestly caught my attention. And I said to myself, wow, maybe, I don't know, man. I don't think the Miami Dolphins and the relationship that they have with Xavier Howard ended in really, really good terms, in my opinion. Now, the other video I wanted to show you guys, and again, let's see if it's this one. I believe it might be this one. I hope this is not the same one, but let me go ahead and share this with you guys. And it's going back to Twitter because obviously we were having sound issues. Let me see. This one's 30 seconds. Hold on. Let me refresh it because I think I reposted it. I only caught like half of it. So let me refresh this for you guys. That way you can see, because it should have the new one. And of course, there we are. There it is. All right, perfect. A minute 13.
Like 3 or 4 people can change a team.
Right. Yeah.
And football, basketball dudes, right?
Yeah.
So you can kind of look at it like 3 or 4 people can change a team.
Right. Yeah.
And football, 3 or 4 people can't really change a team.
Yeah.
I mean, like now you can do certain things to elevate the team, but you can get a stop on defense. Now your offense gets the ball with 2 minutes left. They got to go down and score.
You get a
You went down,
lockdown.
win the Super Bowl, and you took less money. I'd be like, what the hell?
Hey, you get a lockdown
you got a
corner though,
point.
you can
You know
change
what I'm
it.
saying? Like,
You get a
goddamn.
lockdown corner, you can change it.
I know you can't, but then the over there still got to go down and get 7.
No, they
Yeah,
definitely got to
you're
get
right.
it. Because,
You're
man,
right.
being here, man, like I feel like I had to make plays on defense to score touchdowns and stuff like that to get the team going, though, like in my career here, though.
Yeah.
But last year, it wasn't that, though. It wasn't that. I don't know why I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It was a different system I was in.
Yeah.
And when in the system that I was in with Flores and them, it was like I knew for sure the ball was coming my way because they forced the ball my way so I could make my plays. But now it was just my whole career I've been a press corner, and it was a different scheme. I was playing off most of the time, and it was like that wasn't the thing that I'm good at. Like if I'm good at something, why you won't let that player just be good at what he's doing, pressing?
Yeah.
Why you try to switch it up? It's damn year 8.
Yeah, I don't know, but I can't speak on football. But
So the reason I wanted to share that second video with you guys, there was 2 things that stood out on that video. Obviously, the number one thing he mentioned, and all of us clearly heard it and saw it, was the fact that Xavier Howard said with Brian Flores, it was a different type of defense. He's a more press coverage type of cornerback, so he's gonna go ahead and be more aggressive when it comes to not allowing the receiver to get wide open, more chances of him being able to go ahead and intercept the ball and all that stuff. That I understand. We knew, we already saw, and we have heard it, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have heard the whole interview. And if you haven't, check them out, the OGs podcast with Udonis Haslam and Mike Miller. they were talking about Vic Fangio and the whole Vic Fangio thing about how he criticized the Miami Dolphins and how he was telling that some of the players were actually going out and partying and all that stuff, and Haslam does point out a good perspective, saying, hey, why didn't he say it in the middle of during the season if that was the case? And the reason I would say it's a good reason for him to say that is obviously because we all know Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio is a straight shooter. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He's going to tell you what he feels. So if it was maybe Mike McDaniel had to say it, I could understand why Mike McDaniel would be hesitant not to, say it in the middle of the season or at the beginning or at the end of the season. Vic Fangio, on the other hand, he's the type of guy who didn't give a damn. So there's no reason why he could have just gone ahead and just told them. He's like, yeah, there's a bunch of slackers in here that are partying and they're not taking this thing serious. And at the same time, we all knew that Vic Fangio was not in the same kind of mindset with Mike McDaniel. You could tell that it was my way or the highway. So with more reason, he could have said it. And of course, Vic Fangio did not have to say it so bluntly. He probably didn't go and say, he wasn't going to say it like that. He could, twisted in his words, say, hey, look, we're not getting everything from our players. Just feel like some of our players are distracted out there, and we need to get them in and put them back in order for us to be successful on defense. Something like that. Just nothing really blunt, not calling anybody out in particular. So that was one thing. But the thing that caught my attention on that video was not so much about, Xavier Howard not being able to go ahead and get interceptions or play his press conference, the press coverage that he usually does. The fact of the matter is, look what he said at that beginning of the video, and I'm gonna play it again because I want you guys to listen to it again. Look what he said. He went ahead and he said this, and this is what caught my attention. I'm gonna stop it once I go ahead and share it again. So check it out.
Basketball dudes, right? Yeah. So you can kind of look at it like 3 or 4 people can change a team.
Right. Yeah.
In football, 3 or 4 people can't really change a team.
Yeah.
I mean, like now you can do certain things to elevate the team, but you can get a stop on defense. Now your offense gets the ball with 2 minutes left. They got to go down and score.
Now, what Mike Miller is saying is 100% true. I agree with him 100%. If you're gonna 5 men on basketball compared to a lot more in the NFL, offense and defense, and there's 2 different, obviously, parts of the team, the offense and the defense. So let's keep going.
You get a lockdown.
You win the Super Bowl and you took less money. I'd be like, what the hell?
Hey, you get a lockdown corner though, you can change it.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you get a lockdown corner, you can change it.
I know you can't, but then the over there still got to go down and get 7.
No, they definitely got to get it. Because, man, being here, man, like I feel like I had to make plays on defense to score touchdowns and stuff like that to get the team going, though. Like,
wait, so there you go. That's what caught my attention right there. He goes ahead and he says, in my situation, I had to go ahead on defense, be a lockdown corner, and basically, try to score a touchdown to get this team in the right direction. Again, let's play one more time. I want to hear this correctly. I want to say it word for word the same way that he said it. So.
No, they definitely got to get it. Because, man, being here, man, like I feel like I had to make plays on defense.
So he feels like he had to make plays on defense
to score touchdowns and stuff like that to get the team going, though. Like,
to score touchdowns to get the team going. Now, hold on a second. For him to say that, this is clearly telling me, and again, all my opinion. I don't have anything. I don't have any reports. I don't have any inside scoop or anything. This is just me analyzing this interview. Was the fact that Xavier Howard, who is a team captain, been a team captain for this team for a very long time, whether he has the name or not, he always felt that this defense had to carry the offense. And this is a reflection of what my concern is with the Miami Dolphins, was the fact that whether it was Brian Flores who was running the show or now Mike McDaniel, it looks like if Xavier Howard, one of your best defenders, one of your top defenders, one of your leaders on the team, has to go and say, hey, look, I got to make a play and I got to score a touchdown in order for me to motivate the team, it kind of puts a damper on the way I look at the offense and the way I look at, in particular, that squad and their motivation to want to win. And again, you guys might go and tell me, Frankie, you're looking too much into it. But I'm being honest with you guys. Like, why in God's green earth would he feel that he has to elevate his game in order to give the Miami Dolphins offense or this team a little bit more, to go ahead and perform? And that is concerning. And I'm not picking on Brian Flores, and I'm not picking on Mike McDaniel. I'm picking on all the guys that have been coached while Xavier Howard has been on the team. And I'm not picking on Tua. I'm not picking on Tyreek. I'm picking out the whole offense. I'm talking about the run game. I'm talking about the receivers. I'm talking about the quarterback. I'm talking about that whole offense. They all, for him to go out there and say that, it's a huge concern in my eyes. It really does. And I'm hoping that maybe it was just him who thought that way, but if it was the whole team and if your leader is saying that, I mean, that's bad, man. That's a reflection because they're seeing every day when they go and practice what this offense brings. And if he feels that he had to go that far, I mean, I don't know, man. It just feels like it's a letdown for the Miami Dolphins. It feels like this offense is kind of like, we don't know what to expect. And for the fact that we keep investing more and more into our offense, I mean, for the love of God, we started the show with breaking news that Odell might be part of this team. We went ahead and we changed our offensive linemen. We went ahead and put in the fact that, the Miami Dolphins are trying to sign a whole bunch of new guys to help this offense to kind of elevate them. And there's still that question from the offense, like, hey, can we succeed? Can we actually make headlines with this offense? I mean, even when we had blowout games, when we beat Denver, games where some of the games were like in the Washington Commanders game, for him to say that, man, I don't know, man. It just feels like there's still a lot of question marks on this offense. And no matter how much you invest on this offense, if they don't change it around this offense, the mentality and the mindset of what they feel they need to do, I'm telling you, man, the Miami Dolphins are gonna go nowhere, man. We're gonna be kind of like the middle of the pack. It's gonna be disappointing. Sean, let me see what Sean says. Sean says, are you reaching? Oh my God. He didn't say last season or the season before. That's why I said I'm not only criticizing Mike McDaniel and Brian Flores. And I know he's been there even before Brian Flores. Trying to put it on Tua. I am not trying to put it on Tua. I remember, it's like you're not listening to me. I'm trying to tell you. He has 7 interceptions the last 3 years. He had 15 in Flores years and 2 in McDaniel's year. Okay. Again, I'm not trying to put it on Tua. I'm just pointing out the fact that for Xavier Howard to say that he had to go ahead and do what he had to do in order to motivate the offense is not only Tua. He is a part of the offense, but he's not the only one. So I'm putting all this on the shoulders of Tua, Raheem Mostert, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, the offensive line, the offensive coordinators, the offensive line coach, all these guys, the tight ends. I'm not just picking on Tua. I'm saying every single one of them. And the fact of the matter is, let's keep it real. When the game was on the line, the defense was the one who had to step it up. And the whole mindset of the Miami Dolphins was always, hey, the Dolphins need to go ahead and this is an offensive-driven team now. It's no longer defense. The offense carries this team. But clearly it wasn't when your best defender, Xavier Howard, was pretty much telling us, hey, look, I had to do what I had to do because this team just wasn't getting it done. And I'm using mostly the last 4 years, which were Brian Flores and Mike McDaniel, because I could go back, but we knew that the offense sucked. We knew that we didn't have Tyreek Hill. We didn't have Tua. We didn't have Raheem Mostert. We didn't have an offensive guru, supposedly, with Mike McDaniel. We didn't have that. We didn't have Mike Gesicki. You understand me? So I could only go ahead and criticize the last 4 years because of that, because of the simple fact that that's when our offense took the next step, right? That's when supposedly we had an offense that is unstoppable. That's why I point out those particular years. I'm not pointing out Xavier Howard's earlier years. I'm just pointing out the last couple of years because that's when the Miami Dolphins offense was being, praised like, hey, they're the best. You understand me? They have no reason to fall on their ground. Now we have the right offense to match defense. And that's the reason why, in my opinion, Xavier Howard is just telling us Dolphin fans, that's what he's doing. He's telling us, read between the lines, guys. Our offense sucks. Even with the guys that we have on that side of the ball, it's not enough. And it's a concern. I don't know what to tell you. Sean says the offense sucked under Flores. That's 2 of the 4. You want to know something, Sean? And I know that you are commenting and I appreciate it. But, he did go on that podcast and he did say that obviously Brian Flores was very tough on every single one of them. And some players can go ahead and take that type of criticism, while other players probably can't. But I will tell you this, with Brian Flores, with less talent, I mean, that guy got us 10 wins, and I don't care how bad the team was, but he got us 10 wins with a lot less talent, my friend. So once you add the other 2 years with Mike McDaniel, it's a concern, man. They have to put the proof to the doubters that this team is different. And now I'm not only saying the Miami fans, I'm even talking to their own teammates because the defense looks at it this way. If he's mentioning this, it's a concern, man. It's a concern. Sean says the last 2 years has been with Mike McDaniel, and Howard had 2 interceptions. Glad he felt he had to do what he wanted. Just wish he would have actually done it. Look, man, I'm not gonna go ahead and knock Xavier Howard. I'm gonna listen to him, and I'm gonna go ahead and take his word to the heart because he's been with the Miami Dolphins for quite some time. He's a Dolphin, man, and I know that he's gained interest from new teams. He did mention that the Houston Texans is an option for him because that's his hometown. He even said Minnesota again, probably because of Brian Flores. But Xavier Howard was with us from 2016 all the way to 2023. So he's been nothing but a team player for all these years. Every single year he has done he's done more than we expected from him. Yes, the last 2 years have been a little bit rough. Yeah, last year was harder because of the simple fact that it was a different defensive scheme. So I get that. But overall, I'm not judging his play. I'm just judging what he's saying. And if he says those things about our players, our offense, then I hope the Miami offense can do something different this year. Because at the end of the day, it's not looking good. When one of your leaders basically, I'm sorry, man, and you guys might criticize me. You guys might say, Frank, you're wrong about this. But he's calling it how it is. Our offense is fraudulent. And I put the blame on the whole offense, including the coaching. You need to find a way to prove to all of us that they can hang with the best teams in the NFL and that this team can actually win a playoff game and can actually do something out there because we're tired of it. Let's be real. It's a lot easier to criticize, right? A lot of us, it's a lot easier to go ahead and just put the blame and criticize the people and say, look, the Miami Dolphins, they suck, this and that. My brother has a different perspective. They've always told me, right? When you look at a glass and you have water in it, some people will say it's half full. Some people will say it's half empty, right? So I'm somewhere in the middle. I am grateful that the Miami Dolphins have been able to make the playoffs the last 2 years. Back-to-back playoffs is something that, hands down, I'm as a Dolphin season ticket holder, as somebody who has traveled, I went to both playoff games with my brother the last year and the year before. I'm always grateful for it. But I also am going to have constructive criticism of the team, especially with the amount of talent that there is on there and the leadership that we're supposed to have. We're supposed to be a team that's supposed to be able to compete against the best teams in the NFL. And I know the Kansas City Chiefs beat us, But I don't mind Kansas City beating us as long as we put up a fight. We weren't even in that. We were long gone. And that's what concerns me. And then we have like this soft kind of like, turnaround with our players. And I don't know. We got some people. Would he be saying the same thing if the Dolphins would have paid him and kept him? Well, Sean, you weren't here earlier when he went ahead and he said that he doesn't mind going ahead and getting paid less as long as he can be on a team that can go farther in the playoffs. He basically said that. So if he's saying that, if he feels like the Miami Dolphins could go farther, why wouldn't he just resign with Dolphins and got him paid less? I'm pretty sure the Miami Dolphins could have compensated him. Maybe not to the amount that he wanted, but he's been in the league for quite some time. He's not young anymore. He's 30. He's there. He's in the middle. He's right. He's like borderline. He has had a couple of injuries and all that stuff, but he's used to the Miami Dolphins. He's used to the facilities. He's used to the fan base. He's used to everything here in Miami. Why wouldn't you not resign if you didn't feel that this team can compete against the elite? And he didn't. He didn't sign. He's not signing with the Dolphins. It's clear. And he was expressing it a lot, saying that, if he wanted to go there on the actual podcast, he actually also says, hey, if I was to go, I want to go to Houston. They got a quarterback over there. Again, now that if you want to go ahead and tell me, hey, I'm a Tua hater and I'm taking a shot at Tua, you could say that is a little shot at Tua. But he did say that. He said, I got to go to a team that has a quarterback. Again, read between the lines. You're saying this stuff. You're saying these things. Why? Is it that he's a little bit upset at the Miami Dolphins? Maybe. Okay, you can take it with a grain of salt. There's some stuff that might be because he's hurt, and there's some things that, it's the truth, right? Literally. Nick said, we did it, Sean. And he still said it. He did it. And then Sean says, not saying that I am saying, not saying that I am saying if he was on the Dolphins, would he say the same thing? Not what he said on the podcast. And then the last thing he wrote, DiTrapio, if we did pay him, he would be in aqua and orange. Again, it's out there. I don't know. There's two sides to the story, man. Maybe he does want to, maybe Greer didn't want to pay him, no matter what. Even short pay him, probably didn't. And again, we don't know because we're not in there. We're not in the locker room. We're not speaking to the agent. We're not speaking to anybody, finding out what exactly happened. So the other thing we wanted to talk about before we change the topic is the fact that Connor Williams obviously is probably going to be out for quite some time, and he will not. Drew Rosenhaus did come out saying that he suffered a more extensive injury than what a lot of them expected. And because of this, we probably aren't going to see Connor Williams signing with any team anytime soon. And for me, it is a concern for Connor Williams because I don't like to see the Miami Dolphins, try to it's okay. As a Dolphin fan, I'm happy that we might be able to re-sign him. I'm going to keep it real with you. But at the same time, I don't want him to go ahead and have an extensive injury to the point where the guy can't even play. That's the only thing I'm saying. Now, I will say this also, another developing news right now that I'm getting here in the news wire is saying that Odell Beckham Jr. is planning on visiting the Dolphins on Thursday. By Josina Anderson is reporting this. So Odell possibly coming and visiting Miami tomorrow. Jesus Christ. And DiTrapio is actually onto something. Bring back OBJ and Juice. If you guys remember, Juice and OBJ, those are LSU Tigers, man. You guys wouldn't like that? Man, I think that's a great duel. And again, I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, Juice is, he's out of the league. He's not doing good. He's an old geezer. That guy could barely run. I don't care, man. Bring him on. If he is cheap and he's willing to come here, and you tag him along with Odell, and I don't want to go and say Juice's Juice's Jarvis Landry for you guys. I don't want to go ahead and say Jarvis is washed up. Jarvis is 31, man. He's right there. Odell is 30. Like, come on, guys. Like, and remember, if you look at the trend, especially this offseason, have you noticed that Chris Greer has been signing, these 1-year deals here and there just to kind of like give us time for what is the future holds, more draft picks, maybe those comp picks that might help us later on. It makes sense for the Dolphins to go ahead and probably sign Odell to a 1-year contract. Maybe it makes sense to go ahead and sign Jarvis Landry. And again, you don't have to give these guys guarantees. You could honestly just bring them, see how they do, and if they make the team, great. And if not, you cut them. It's that simple. I don't see what the issue is. I hope people don't get or don't start to go ahead and say Frank is daydreaming or Frank is like wishing and hoping too much. But it's the truth, guys. I mean, we have put in so much into Chris Greer's shoulders, and everybody says that he's such a great GM. Let him work his magic. Imagine you bring Odell to the Miami Dolphins. I mean, I know he was serviceable with the Ravens. I know he didn't do anything on the playoff game. But if we have a quarterback that could throw the football, I don't see why Odell or even Jarvis Landry can't get catches for him. I mean, and imagine, think about this, guy. Think about this, guys. You would have Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, and Braxton Berrios. And let's not forget Jonnu Smith. In your opinion, wouldn't that be probably one of the most strongest wide receiving core the Miami Dolphins have ever had? Because, dude, think about it. Stacked. And I know Odell's old, and I know Jarvis is up there in age. They're both 30 and 31. But still, man, stacked. Probably the best receiving core in Dolphins history, in my opinion, if you were able to bring all those guys in. Especially on the cheap end. I'm just saying. But we'll keep talking about it next week. And hopefully, maybe, just maybe, Chris Greer can work magic and bring Odell. And if he's able to bring Odell, man, I hope there's a way he could bring a running back in this. I know we restructured Jeff Wilson Jr.'s contract and all that stuff, but man, would it be a knock out of the park if some way, somehow we're able to bring either Dalvin Cook or bring in another running back out there for the cheap end and battle it out. And again, remember, you don't have to give these guys guarantees. So you bring them. If they pan out, keep them. They make the roster. If they don't, get them the hell out of here. It's that simple. That's kind of like the mentality of Chris Greer. That's what I've seen, and I'm sticking to it. In Chris Greer, we trust, right? And let's keep it real. As of right now, if you're a Chris Greer fan, you probably are excited about this. He's going after the big targets. We Miami Dolphin fans get excited when we hear these things. We wanted Dalvin Cook last year. We didn't get him. We might get Odell this year. We wanted Poirier last year. We didn't get him. We got him this year. No, I'm not going to go out there and say that the Miami Dolphins, that Chris Greer hasn't done a good job. I think he personally has done a great job over the free agency this year. And I think the team has improved when it comes to the linebackers, when it comes to the line. I mean, and I'm pretty sure, and I've been saying this in the previous shows, that I honestly feel that the Miami Dolphins are going to go ahead and draft a defensive tackle. That's going to be their first. They're going to use a defensive tackle for the first round. I think they'll go after an offensive lineman after that. And then they're just going to go, based on, performance and who they feel is the best. And remember what we did read from Barry Jackson was the fact that they were going over to Texas to go see the pro scouting in Texas to scout the Texas people. So we got to hope and see what exactly and who exactly are they looking at over there in Texas. I haven't done my homework. I will probably do that sometime this week and find out who in particular they're looking at over there in Texas for the pro what you call it? I guess the pro camp, I guess. It's so funny because people are actually posting people are already posting like what you call it all that with the number one jersey on them. You know what? Hold on, let me share this, guys. You guys are gonna get mad at me. Oh man, you guys are gonna get mad at me. But dude, come on, man. Why they gotta do this? Why they gotta give him the number one? Huh? Why we gotta give him number one, the jersey number one? Why who wears number one, right? Only the Dolphins. That will go ahead and would do that and post Odell with the number one as his jersey when we already know who owns the number one for the team. That's funny. Of course that's funny. Um Let's see what we got here. We got I'll never forget that Monday Night Football game. The Trapper, you're absolutely right, man. And that was that Monday night game where Odell Beckham burned us. Jesus, I wish I still have that video. There's some video. Odell went for like what? I think they threw like a 40 or 50-yard pass and the guy burned us. Ridiculous. Josh says no Dalvin Cook. Why not Dalvin? Why not Dalvin Cook, man? He's good. He's still there. He's still there. You got nothing to lose. Nothing. Don't guarantee that guy anything. And he's going to be cheaper. Why not bring him? D-Trap is out. I'll buy that jersey. I mean, I don't think he'll wear number one. If they give him number one, that's a diss. That's going to be a huge diss. But we'll see. And what up, Frankie? No Dalvin Cook, no Odell Beckham. Come on, Josh. You got to stop. Bro, you got to stop. We need those guys. Bring them on. If we're bringing these other guys and we're getting, we're paying them change, in other words, why not, man? And you got guys that are like 50-50. And now you're bringing Odell, and you could probably you could bring probably Dalvin Cook and see what they bring to the table. And remember, just because Dalvin didn't do so good in the Jets doesn't mean he can't do and flourish here in Miami. Again, he's a Florida guy. If you know what technically happens with a lot of these players. They usually do a lot better when they're in their home state. Look at Braxton Berrios. That's one of the reasons why he wanted to stay here, and he signed and he changed his contract in order to stay here because he's a Florida guy, and he's like, yo, I want to stay here, man. I don't want to go. I don't want to leave. That's the way it works, man. That's why when we look at the Xavier Howard, I can't criticize Xavier Howard. I'm gonna go ahead and take his wording as it is. He basically said, yo, I gotta go because I don't see the Miami Dolphins doing anything. Hopefully he's wrong, but that's the truth. One last thing before we move on. Odell need to go to the Chiefs so they can 3-peat. Yeah, nah, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. We don't want the Chiefs to 3-peat. That team is already stacked as it is, and they already have the best quarterback in the NFL. The last thing we need is more firepower given to that team. All right, let's move on to the Miami Heat. And, of course, the Miami Heat are actually playing right now as we speak. And let's see what the score is right now. The Miami Heat are up 92-85. That's what I got. Bam Adebayo is not playing. So we got Thomas Bryant out there playing out there. I mean, he has 6 points out there. Jimmy Butler is back. Jimmy Butler, who was a couple of scratches the last couple of games, he has stepped it up for 28 points. Jovic got the start out there. He has 14. Terry Rozier has 13. Patty Mills with 10. Let's see. How is our boy Duncan Robinson? He is not playing. Duncan Robinson is out today. Wow. He's not playing today. That's kind of no wonder. That's why probably Jimmy Butler stepping it up today. Caleb Martin has 2 points. Jaime Jaquez has 7 points. Orlando Robinson has 8. What I wanted to talk about when it comes to the Miami Heat, and let's talk a little bit. Man, I told you guys I was gonna just talk for about this. This was gonna be a quick show, and I've already been on for an hour. Jimmy Butler. And I know you guys are always criticizing Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not gonna go ahead and jump out of the Jimmy Butler bandwagon. Jimmy Butler has given us productivity compared to it was. I hate the fact when people go ahead and say, yo, Jimmy Butler hasn't lived up to expectation. Do you guys remember what the Miami Heat were when Jimmy Butler was gone? Like, come on. Seriously? Hassan Whiteside? We had what? We had nothing. We had trash. We were middle of the pack, and then we weren't able to go ahead and compete because we really didn't have a solid team. And yes, I understand that we haven't been able to get our second number our number one or superstar here to go along with Jimmy Butler. But dude, I think the problem with a lot of Miami Heat fans is the fact that we just kind of say, hey, you haven't delivered us a championship, so you suck, Jimmy. And guys, why are you guys being so rough? I mean, for the love of God, we criticize Tua, right? And that offense. But we have a right to criticize Tua because he hasn't even gotten us a playoff win. You want to go and criticize Jimmy Butler, who's taking us to 2 finals? I don't care if it's been a fluke or not. He still got us there. And you could say Eric Spoelstra is the reason why, but Eric Spoelstra is not the one who's playing in the court. And it's the players at the same time. So you got to give credit where credit is due. So I'm not going to go and jump out of the bandwagon and say, yo, screw Jimmy Butler or get away from Bam Adebayo. Those guys have delivered. And I think the thing is that we've been so spoiled for the last couple of years that we feel like we got to win every single year. I mean, there are teams out there that have done nothing. I mean, for the love of God, Philadelphia had James Harden on their team, and he didn't do nothing. The Brooklyn Nets had Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. Our team didn't do anything. So, and we want to go ahead and just kind of get rid of the man, Jimmy Butler, and say that he's been trash. And when Philadelphia, besides James Harden, they had Joel Embiid, they didn't do anything. And the Miami Heat were able to move on to the finals. So why are we? I just feel we take Jimmy Butler for granted, man. I mean, he's done what he has to do. He's still serviceable. If there's one person I'm going to go ahead and criticize when it comes to the Miami Heat, it's not Jimmy Butler. It's Tyler Hero, man. And the reason I'll even accept Bam Adebayo over Tyler Hero because at least Bam Adebayo is still out there and at least he does something. At least he's in there giving it some minutes. We don't even get anything from Tyler Hero. And this whole expectation of, hey, Tyler Hero, he's a great player and all that stuff. If you want to call somebody a bum, I'm sorry. Tyler Hero is the one I would call a bum because he can never stay healthy. That has been the Achilles on this team. Tyler Hero. He was supposed to be the guy to help. He was supposed to be the scorer next to Jimmy Butler, and he hasn't lived to expectation. So if there's one person I'm going to go ahead and criticize, that would have to be Tyler Hero. Not Jimmy Butler, not Bam Adebayo. Jimmy's done what he has to do. Bam has gone ahead and maybe he's not the best he's not the go-to guy, but he's still solid. He still does his thing. He's a serviceable player. I that's what I get from him. I do feel the Miami Heat definitely are also missing a lot Kevin Love. I think Kevin Love plays a huge part in their team because he's another big man and he's a center, even though he's up there in age, but he's a center and he's solid for the team. And I think the Miami Heat have kind of hurt themselves when Kevin Love is not out there. And you'll be surprised, man. Every time Kevin Love shoots one of those threes out of the blue, it gives this team a spark. So hopefully the Miami Heat are able to pull it off. I'm refreshing the score here right now, and it looks like the Miami Heat are only up by 1 point, 94-93, and there's about 4 minutes and 46 seconds left in the game. So it's a tight one. All right, guys. I don't want to stay on for that much. The last topic we wanted to talk about, and this is what I've been getting criticized a lot for the last couple of days, and it's been a couple people, even Josh has been one of them, is the fact that Lionel Messi, the GOAT, has been hurt, and he will not be playing in Argentina's next friendlies. Now, I do want to say this. Shout out to Colombia because Colombia does play on Friday. You guys know I'm Colombian. So Colombia has a tough game against Spain. So we're going to see how Colombia does. But Lionel Messi not playing for Argentina and their friendlies this next couple of days, it's really telling me something here. And it's telling me that Lionel Messi's injury is more than we want to believe. Granted, Argentina's playing El Salvador on Friday, and they're playing Costa Rica on Tuesday. So it's two crappy teams. Let's keep it real. Costa Rica, I have a little bit more respect. They're not bad, but El Salvador is not the greatest team out there. So it should be an easy dub for Argentina when it comes to both games. But I'm going to tell you something. The reason this is a concern is the fact that if you look at Lionel Messi's track record, he has barely ever missed games for Argentina, no matter the extent of his injury. And that's one of the things that has gone ahead and caught my eye. And I'm the one who has gone ahead and said, look, if Lionel Messi just goes ahead and takes care of himself, there's no reason why he shouldn't be productive for Inter Miami. I'm an advocate that says Lionel Messi should sit out La Copa America. There's no reason why Lionel Messi should play La Copa America. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason he shouldn't play that is because, number one, they already won it. Are they going to win it again? Are they going to they're going to try to be like the defending champions? It is very, very difficult to win the Copa America back-to-back years. I think from the history of the Copa America, there hasn't been that many national teams on the South American that have won it back-to-back years. I'm looking at the history of it right now to see who has won it. Argentina has won it 9 times in a row. I'm sorry, not 9 times in a row. They've won it 9 times. Uruguay has won it 7 along with Chile, and then Brazil follows with Peru. Surprisingly, Peru has actually won one. Oh, wait, no, hold on a second. My apologies. That is not the correct stat. That is the teams that have hosted it. The winners, here we go. The last time that Uruguay actually has the most titles. Yeah, that's correct. That's what it is. Uruguay has the most. Uruguay has 15, a long tie with Argentina. So Argentina and Uruguay both have 15. Brazil has 9. Paraguay and Chile have 2, and Peru has 2. The last time a team has won back-to-back Copa Americas in the history of the Copa America, I'll tell you right now, was Chile back in 2015, 2016, when they had that back-to-back and they had like the United States. That was the last time. You had Brazil win it in 2004 and 2007. You had Brazil win it again in 1997 and 1999. And then you have to go back all the way to 91 and 93 when Argentina actually won it back-to-back. But besides that, you kind of have a lot of after that, it's like a lot of Argentina and Uruguay back in the day winning it and all that stuff. Shout out to Colombia as well. They did win it in 2001. I have to give shout out to Colombia, of course. That's the only time we won something. Jesus Christ. But I wanted to go ahead and tell you guys that I think Messi needs to sit out. If he sits out, he'll be fine. There's no reason why he shouldn't be able to sit out, whether they win it or not. He's already accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. I don't think he needs to go ahead and have to play in the Copa America, and just, especially if you want the team to actually do well for themselves. You want Argentina to prove that they're actually that can handle it without Messi being part of the team. And that's what I think, in my opinion, is the issue with Argentina and with Messi. And I think the United States is another contender for the Copa America. Colombia is going to be a contender. Uruguay is going to be a contender. It's not going to be an easy Copa America. Let's just keep it real. So for me, Lionel Messi should go ahead and sit. Oh, what's up, Michelle? Thank you so much for tuning in. And then Josh is saying that I'm a Ronaldo fan. I will say this. I will say this. Ronaldo, I am a fan of Ronaldo. He has been a very, very good athlete. I will go on paper to say that Messi is better than Ronaldo. The accolades, all the achievements, everything, you got to give it to Messi. He's been the better player. I mean, hands down. But that doesn't diminish what Ronaldo has accomplished either. They're both like literally neck and neck. The only thing that I could honestly say has been more successful for Messi is the simple fact that he has, won the World Cup. You could go and say, hey, the Ballon de Oro and all that stuff, all that he has won. I think that's a good, that's cool. That's a good achievement to win and all that stuff. But sometimes I feel like the Ballon de Oro is just a popularity contest. I feel sometimes they just give it to you because they want to. But Josh says Ronaldo needs to sit out the Euro League. But I mean, this is the thing. This is the controversy that a lot of you guys have gotten mad at me, is the fact that you guys are telling me that, Frank, we were all criticizing Cristiano Ronaldo when he was at 35, like his game is down, like he ain't doing nothing, etc., etc. He's doing crap in Juventus. What has he been doing and all that stuff? But now you're seeing Messi, and Messi's in the same situation, probably even worse, where he can't even stay healthy because his body's breaking down. Explain that to me. And he's playing in the MLS, which is a lot, let's keep it real, a lot less talented league than what you would actually play when you play in an Italian league, or when you're playing in the French league, or when you're playing in La Liga, or when you're playing in the English Premier League. Let's just keep it real. That's it. I'm gonna hold both of them accountable. And if we were able to criticize Cristiano Ronaldo when he was 35, that he wasn't producing and he wasn't scoring and he wasn't successful and he was a troublemaker and he was a poison to the team, that's what people were telling me. I'm not saying Messi is a poison to the team, but let's keep it real. Messi's not keeping up either. And I'm sorry. And when you're looking at Messi playing out there on the field, look at him. Just analyze him. Like, he's good when he gets the ball. His passes are still on point, amazing. But does the guy ever run back to help on defense? You don't ever see him do that. I don't think he used to, but not anymore. He doesn't do it. He's always walking. He doesn't go more than halfway down the field, So am I gonna go ahead and not judge him the same way as Cristiano Ronaldo? Because a lot of you guys are gonna tell me the same thing. Hey, Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't run back and help on the defense. Okay, fine, but what about Messi? Like, he's hurting himself right now. He's not doing as much as he can, and he's getting injured. At least Ronaldo was playing. And I know it's still early. I know it's still early, but and I know Messi is the type of player who wants to be out there in the field and wants to be successful, and he wants Inter Miami to win. So I'm not judging Messi when it comes to that. The only thing I'm saying is, if we were able to criticize Cristiano Ronaldo when he was 35, I don't see why we can't go ahead and criticize Messi when he's 35, because they're obviously, hey man, Father Times comes up, and unfortunately, he's not the same guy. His body's breaking down, and hopefully he's able to withstand it and get better. And you also have to give a lot of the responsibility on Tata Martinez needs to be more strategic with how much minutes he's giving him and stuff like that, and which games to play him and which games not to. So we'll see. Let me see the last couple of messages that we got on the chat board. We got, are you stupid? This Di Maria last Copa America, they played together all their Obviously, Leonardo Velasquez must be an Argentina fan. And Leonardo, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, Di Maria, out of all the Argentinian guys that were on that team, I mean, Di Maria has always been, in my opinion, Lionel Messi's Robin. Like, I don't think Argentina would have won any championship if Di Maria was not there. So I have very, very much respect to Di Maria. And I have always said that in order for Argentina to win like a Copa America or World Cup, what they were missing was a goalkeeper. So in that particular sense, Divo Martinez has been legit. Like, he's a very, very, very strong goalie. I know he's doing a lot better in the English Premier League this year, but technically in the last couple of years he was struggling, but he's finally stepping it up. But at least when he plays for Argentina, he takes it to another level. So I respect your goalkeeper, even though I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not the biggest fan. And again, you could judge me on this, and I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. And I've always been very blunt with you guys. When you insult my team, you're gonna get on my bad side. So when the whole Copa America a couple of years ago, the last Copa America where Argentina went to penalties with Colombia and Divo Martinez was giving us the suck it sign, I was upset. I took that as a disrespect because at the end of the day, you don't do that to Colombia. And yes, I understand that Yerry Mina was like kind of like dancing and all that stuff during the penalties and all that stuff, but it's a difference between dancing and telling somebody to suck it. That's why when it comes to Divo Martinez, I respect his game. I don't respect him as an individual because you went ahead and insulted not only my team. You did that with the Copa America. I think I don't remember if it was in the Copa America or in the World Cup where he got the Golden Glove for being the best goalkeeper, and then he did the same thing. Like, come on, dude. Like, I don't know. I just find that a little bit childish. You're one of the best goalkeepers and you're doing really well, and then you want to go ahead and act that way. It just feels like you're acting like a kid. Um, Josh says Ecuador will win the Copa America. You want to know something, Josh? I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I like that Ecuador team. That Ecuador team is solid. I think the first thing I have to go ahead and say about that Ecuador team is surprisingly they could contend, and I learned that because of what they did in the World Cup. They didn't make it to the next round, the round of 16, but they still did what they had to do. They still were in it for the most part, and Ecuador has always been like a sleeper of a team. They're not a bad team at all. I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna try to see if I could Google them right now. But Ecuador, actually, they're gonna be playing tomorrow against Guatemala, and then they're playing Sunday against Italy. So that game against Italy is gonna be a very, very fun game to actually see. And keep this in mind, guys. What I'm noticing here, and let me just make sure before I mention this, because I just noticed something here. Yeah, this is definitely true. Wow. So these last two games are literally the last, at least for Ecuador. Colombia has a third game, but for Ecuador, these are the last two friendly games that they have before the Copa America starts here in the United States. Colombia actually plays Spain on Friday, Romania on Tuesday, and then they have a friendly against the United States June 8th. I believe that's in California that they're playing because I was looking at that game. So, and then after that, they're going to Copa America. So we should get some type of these friendlies are basically showing us if Miami is going to go ahead and if the whatever team you're going for, which is Ecuador, Colombia, Argentina, whichever team it is going to be able to compete really well in the Copa America. Let me see what Leonardo Velasquez said. He said, first, I am a Ronaldo fan, and Messi, the Batman, and Di Maria, the Robin. And Yeti Mina was talking crap during that match. Leonardo, look, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. There's nothing wrong being a Ronaldo fan. The only thing is, like you said, Messi is the Batman and Di Maria is the Robin. If you remove Di Maria off of that team, they don't win it. I'm just keeping it real. I've always thought that. And Jeremina was talking crap during the match. Jeremina was talking crap during that match, but here's the thing. Like, dude, every player talks crap during the soccer match. So it's not like, it's not like Yeti Mina was doing anything different. What Debo got mad was when he went ahead and he kicked the penalty and then he scored on him and then he started doing the little dance. That was the thing that got Debo upset. So I could understand him giving the suck it to maybe Di Maria, to Yeti Mina, but like, I don't know, man. He just felt like that was such an intense game. And I think the reason, and you want to know something, and I know I'm going along with this. We've been talking soccer a lot, but especially Copa America. I really honestly feel that Brazil, this is the first year Brazil's very vulnerable. Brazil, I don't feel like they're going to be contenders. I honestly feel that the top contenders for the Copa America this year are going to be Argentina, because obviously they still have a solid squad. If Messi plays, I think they're still going to be solid. Uruguay is going to be a heavy hitter. Uruguay's been doing really, really well. And then Colombia. I honestly feel Colombia has a shot as well. Keep in mind, we before that Copa America, the one before that, we actually beat them when we had Carlos Quiroz as our head coach. So I'm not surprised if if Colombia can give a run for the money. And don't sleep on the United States. The only reason the United States is not a better team is because the United States keeps making the same mistake of hiring that Greg Berhalter as their stupid coach. If they had a better coach, I promise you the United States would be a lot better. On a breaking news right now, this just came in. The Dolphins are re-signing River Carcraft. Wow. So River Carcraft staying with the Miami Dolphins. I just got the breaking news. Really, really nice to see that River Carcraft is back with the Dolphins. So it makes sense, man. Bring Odell, and then we're Gucci with Juice, and I think we have ourselves a great wide receiver lineup. But with that being said, guys, I know I've been a little bit too long. I know I've been talking a lot. I want to thank everybody who has joined us. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Leonardo Velasquez. Thank you, brother, for joining. I think you're the first time I've ever heard that name has not shown up before. So I really, really appreciate you coming by. Josh, of course, thank you so much for coming on. My friend Michelle, thank you, TM, for coming. My brother DiTrapio, who unfortunately was not able to make it today. He's doing a couple of he has schoolwork he has to work on. Since he's graduating soon. So shout out to my brother. Can't wait for your graduation, my bro. And then obviously Sean Stanley, my other good friend out there. Of course, if you guys get a chance, don't forget to tune in to his channel. Don't forget to don't visit Stanley Media House. And of course, sign up and subscribe to his channel as well as to this channel, the Frankie Fresco channel. Before I go, guys, I do want to let you guys know that I will be going on Twitch. Not for long. I'll probably be DJing for about a half an hour, maybe an hour. I was on last night. If you guys enjoy the music, want to, chit chat, I usually tell stories about some of the events I do. Some of the crazy stuff that happens. Like yesterday's show, I gave a story of I don't want to go into too much detail because it's usually what I do on Twitch, but it was a situation where one of the bartenders was doing drugs during the actual event. So it was crazy. So I have different crazy stories. I'm gonna go ahead and tell another story in today's show. So tune in. I'll be on, maybe it's 9:26, so give me about maybe 15 to 20 minutes to set up. I have to go run from this studio to my other studio for the Twitch section. So don't forget to follow me at Fresco Music. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to share. I want to thank everybody who's tuned in, everybody who joined us from the Twitch side, who joined us on the X side, and of course, everybody who's tuned in on the YouTube side. I really, really do appreciate it. It's always a pleasure. Like I said, hopefully I'm able to get my brother on next week. That way we could obviously have both of us on the show. And keep in mind, guys, one last thing before I let you guys go. I'm always looking for guests. So if you guys want to be a guest, all you got to do is just shoot me a DM, or you could actually leave me a comment on YouTube or whatever. Just anything you want. Hit me up either on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube. Just send me a message. Be like, Frankie, I want to go on the show. And you don't have to show in the camera or anything like that. You could just, it could be just the voice, and I'll give you a perfect example like that. You see, so you could still hear me, and you don't have to see me if you're kind of shy when it comes to the camera. So we really, really appreciate anybody who would want to be a guest. I'm always up for it. Again, man, this show is for all of us, man. We just chit chat and talk, and we voice our opinion on all sports. NXT, Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat. We're gonna start talking a little bit more about the Florida Panthers. We're gonna talk about the Marlins because the Marlins are around the corner, and then we also obviously have the Copa America. There will be maybe a handful of shows we might not be able to run because some schedule difficulties, but we'll keep you up to date when unfortunately we won't be able to do the show. But in the meantime, when we're both healthy or one of us is going, we're going to keep going no matter what. So for all you guys, once again, let me talk to you. Episode 19 in the books, and we will see you next week. Same time, same place, same channel. Thank you guys. Hasta mañana.
Let me talk to you.
The biggest icon in wrestling.